When it comes to film noir, there's the ones you know.
How do you do, Mr. Dietrichson? I'm Walter Nett, Pacific All Risk.
And the ones you don't. So let's take a look at some underappreciated but must-watch films that live under the shadows on the dark side of the street. And if you care to check out any of the films mentioned in this video, I've linked them all in the description below so you can watch them for free. The Black Angel. The Black Angel begins with an attention-grabbing opening sequence that doesn't let up with the suspense for the entirety of its 80-minute runtime. Directed by Roy William Neill and starring Dan Duryea and June Vincent, The Black Angel, based on a story by Cornell Woolrich, is a compact, well-crafted mystery story that showcases Duryea in a rare leading role. He plays composer Martin Blair, whose wife Mavis is anything but faithful. Martin has a habit of getting blackout drunk and forgetting what he does during the night, but when Mavis ends up dead, he has an airtight alibi. Meanwhile, Catherine Bennett, played by June Vincent, has a husband named Kirk who's been carrying on an affair with Mavis, and he's arrested, tried, and sentenced to death for her murder. Catherine and Martin both believe Kirk is innocent and that the real killer is still on the loose. The two team up to flush out the murderer as the clock ticks down to Kirk's execution. The Black Angel gives Duryea that rare chance to play a sympathetic and vulnerable, yet flawed, leading man. There's none of his trademark smarmy attitude here that you would see in films like The Woman in the Window. He's just a man in search of the truth, and when that truth is revealed, The Black Angel delivers a shocking and tragic twist ending that makes this film a must-watch. The Breaking Point. Sometimes a film just lingers with you long after the credits roll. 1950's The Breaking Point is one of those films. Directed by Michael Curtiz, based on the story To Have and Have Not by Ernest Hemingway. And while the 1944 film starring Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall may be better known, this is the superior effort, the one that Hemingway thought was the best. The Breaking Point stars John Garfield. He plays Harry Morgan, a charter fishing boat captain whose business and family are in dire economic straits. Along with his mate Wesley Park, played by Juano Hernandez, the two get stranded in Mexico after a charter customer doesn't pay his bill.
I need $100 to clear the port, and I got 80 cents toward it. If I can't scrabble up some dough, we all better learn Spanish.
In order to secure some fast cash, Harry takes an offer from a shady lawyer to smuggle some Chinese immigrants into the United States, but the entire plan goes sideways. And what at first appeared to be an easy answer to his problems escalates into a compounding series of tragic events. Co-starring Patricia Neal and Phyllis Thaxter, The Breaking Point is as bleak as it gets, with a final scene that's so goddamn sad it will punch you right in your soul and make you curse director Michael Curtiz and screenwriter Randall McDougall for the sheer, unapologetic cynicism of it all. In fact, if you can only watch one of the films I mentioned in this video, let it be The Breaking Point. It was the film Garfield was most proud of, and he was blacklisted soon after it was completed, and he would be dead of a stress-induced heart attack within 2 years. The Breaking Point is a reminder of just how dynamic and devastating the man was as an actor, and the film is an underrated masterpiece that deserves to be seen. The Prowler. 1951's The Prowler begins simple enough. A woman, Susan Gilvray, played by Evelyn Keys, calls the police after she spots a prowler outside her bathroom window. When the patrolmen arrive, there's no sign of the peeper, but when Officer Wes Garwood, played by Van Heflin, sets eyes on Susan, he falls for her, and his attraction soon turns to obsession. He woos Susan, and he's persistent until she gives in. She's in a marriage that lacks passion, and Wes provides a spark that's been missing, and she falls hard.
Oh, Webb, take me away, wherever you want.
When Wes discovers that Susan's husband has a sizable life insurance policy, he begins to put together an elaborate and deadly plan. And he's convinced he's smart enough to get away with murder. In this one, the man is the seducer. He's the homme fatale. Think of it as a sort of role-reversed double indemnity. The Prowler gives Evelyn Keys, who often complained about her lack of good roles and is best known for playing one of Scarlett O'Hara's sisters, a chance to really shine. And Van Heflin has never been so seductive and so underhanded. The screenplay for The Prowler was written by Hugo Butler, and that name was a front for blacklisted writer Dalton Trumbo. Sadly, Lucy would also be blacklisted after the release of this film. This Gun for Hire. Throughout the 1940s, Alan Ladd and Veronica Lake would make a series of successful film noirs for Paramount Studios. The first of these was 1942's This Gun for Hire. Directed by Frank Tuttle and loosely based on Graham Greene's novel A Gun for Sale, the film features Ladd in the performance that would make him a star. He plays the tight-lipped, cold-blooded assassin Philip Raven who's out for revenge. When he shoots a blackmailer and his beautiful female companion dead, he's paid off in marked bills, and he becomes the subject of a manhunt. When he crosses paths with Veronica Lake's Ellen on a train, they become uncomfortable allies in the hunt for double-crossers and spies in wartime Los Angeles. The chemistry between Ladd and Lake is palpable. The two go toe-to-toe with a kind of hard-boiled cynicism. She's as savvy as he is sinister, and their uncomfortable alliance ends up leaving her and us with a soft spot for the killer anti-hero Raven. Ladd shows a kind of casual brutality that led some critics to compare him to James Cagney. And it's easy to see how after this film, Alan Ladd and Veronica Lake became such big stars.
You're trying to make me go soft. Well, you can save your oil. I don't go soft for anybody.
There are 8 million stories in the cinema cities. This has been one.